I'm sure people are wondering, how is it that J.D. Vance is so bad at campaigning? And I can tell you, the answer is he really hasn't done a whole lot of it. Back in 2022, when he was running for that Senate seat that he currently occupies, he had very little presence throughout the summer in Ohio. And I saw an article online from a newspaper around Toledo, and they were talking about how after Labor Day, Tim Ryan, who was the Democratic opponent, had just completed his 88th county fair here in the state of Ohio. Now, there are only 88 counties in Ohio, and he took the time to visit every single one of them and get out there where the people are and shake hands and talk to families and, well, do what politicians do. In the same article, it mentioned that J.D. Vance had not attended a single county fair throughout the summer. Not one. You know what J.D. Vance did with his summer vacation? He traveled the globe and had a trip to China, and he went here and he went there, and trips to Mar-a-Lago, trips all over the United States, but he really didn't spend a whole lot of time in Ohio, and he didn't even run TV ads. And I gotta tell you, Tim Ryan was running a pretty good campaign. He had an ad that I thought was one of the most effective ads I'd ever seen. And he's got a rack of footballs over here, and he's got a row of TVs over there, and each TV had an image of J.D. Vance on it. One was footage, and he'd pick up a football, and he'd say, "This is for the ones that make bad deals with China," and he'd chuck it at the TV, and then hit it and smash it, and off it went flying. And it was a great commercial. This is for culture wars. I'm not that guy. And it said defund the police on the screen, which I thought was brilliant, brilliant. And J.D. Vance finally did show up in September during the campaign, and we started seeing commercials. And J.D. Vance actually did a commercial mocking the football commercial. And instead of using footballs, he used an AR-15, and he shot at targets with a body silhouette on it. Now, I only saw that commercial twice, and both times were during NFL football on a Sunday afternoon. And I gotta tell you, if you're gonna if you're gonna run it only during NFL football on Sunday, you just hit your target market. And I knew when I saw that, at that moment that I saw it, I thought to myself, man, every gun-toting redneck in Ohio just went, that's my guy. I'm going to vote for him. And there you have it, a 6-year embarrassment in the Senate trying to represent Ohio. And he's not doing a very good job at it. I don't even want to get myself started on what he's done to Springfield, Ohio, him and Trump. But I gotta tell you, if J.D. Vance will sell out his state, he will sell out our country. And we need to keep that in mind. Need to keep that in mind. He's not shown up for votes. And he had an opportunity there at one time to vote on bills that protected birth control and IVF, and didn't show up. You know where he was at when the vote was taken in the Senate for the child tax credit? He was having a photo op at the border. Now, he belonged in D.C. That border was going to be there yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and so on. But, he wants to talk about being a family guy and how families need, breaks, cut them a break and do this and do that. And, you know what? You ought to pay attention to your own family, dude. Who knows when the last time you spent any quality time with your kids, besides telling your 6-year-old to shut the hell up. Anybody that would say that on camera shows a total lack of judgment. You know, we all, as parents, have probably had our moment or moments when we lost our patience with our children. And, you know, said things that, well, you can't take back, but you said it. He went one step further and put that out there for all to hear, as though that's like something we want to hear. You should have kept that to yourself, dude. Take your own advice and shut the hell up sometimes. Now, the fact that this man, who clearly has no idea how government works, it just floors me that he's managed to worm his way into a vice presidential candidate place in our country. He's not even been in the Senate for 2 years yet. And his claim to fame back there in the beginning of the year was to hold up the ambassadors, the confirmation hearings for ambassadors in the vote. You know, dozens. We'll just make sure that no one shows up. Now, I really feel like J.D. Vance is a tool. He's a tool for the Heritage Foundation and Project 2025. And I'll tell you what, a vote for Donald Trump is a vote for J.D. Vance for President of the United States. And believe it or not, that scares me more than Trump being president. And let's face it with Trump. And let's just set aside the fact that his brain has just completely run off the rails and he's acting like a lunatic. Let's set that part aside. He's not in very good health. One look at him, you can see. Man's obese. He doesn't eat right. He does a lot of, you know, fast food and Diet Cokes, and, you know, you just know, his blood pressure's got to be completely through the roof, given everything that goes on and how he reacts to things. And you can't spew all that hate and act the way he acts and not have a problem with your blood pressure. Just saying. You know, you've already had 2 people try to assassinate the man. 2 people. And they're both were Trump supporters. That's what happens when you spew hate like that. I gotta tell you, the liberals, they don't want to see him stroke out or get shot. They want to see him in handcuffs. At least I do. And a vote for Donald Trump is a vote for J.D. Vance. We need to take that more seriously. Let's get past this and turn the page on this kind of hatred and this bullshit, and we will have to deal with J.D. Vance until 2028. That's how long his term is in the Senate. And we need to start paying more attention to who we're sending off to Congress, especially the Senate. It's too much time not to get anything done. Just saying.